Hi and hello, football fans. It's your old pal Dave Dameshek. I hope all's well wherever you are, and happy holidays wherever you are. Welcome to the Dave Dameshek Football Program, presented as always by McDonald's. Yes, on this Christmas, give your loved ones what they really want, an Egg McMuffin in their stocking. Also, give them a hash brown. And what I recently started to revel in is that the hash brown comes in its own little paper sleeping bag of sorts. And I think that makes it extra fancy. I like eating it without having to touch the hash brown. Anyway, much coming up here. If you're listening on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or just beyond, welcome to the show. I think I just made a Freudian slip there and said Christmas Dave. You know what? For the remainder of this show, I am Christmas Dave.
All right.
To be in the spirit. You know, somebody else in this studio here is also in the Christmas spirit. You can see it on YouTube or NFL.com, a festive sweater on one of the two people here. We'll get to him in just a second. We're going to be talking to the director and the writer of so many great movies in the 21st century, legitimately my favorite comedies of the 21st century. Adam McKay is here. We're going to be kibitzing about The Big Short. We're going to talk about who we're loving going into Week 16, some big games coming up. The Week 16 Red Challenge Flag Pick segment. We're going to go through the biggest games for you there. And of course, you can find all our segments on YouTube, piece by piece, all the worthwhile stuff for you to watch. If you consider yourself too fancy or too important to sit through 45 minutes of football talk, then go and piece by piece you can watch those things on YouTube and look for DDFP. All right, let's say hello to everybody. First of all, the man dressed in that aforementioned festive green sweater all the way from London, England. He is our resident Miami Dolphins fan. It's Handsome Hank.
He's handsome, he's handsome, he's handsome.
Season's greetings, handsome.
Happy Christmas to you, Dave.
Yes, well, listen.
How are you?
Well, I'm festive.
Yes.
And I think I've made that quite clear.
You
My
are.
heart is
You
filled
are.
with song.
Christmas, Dave.
Especially because we have a very exciting and I use the superlative elite. An elite Hollywooder is in our midst right here. I mentioned that he is the director of The Big Short, which is getting gangbusters review all over the place. It's the one movie people are talking about this December. It's Adam McKay. What's the poop, fella?
Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Certainly.
Yeah, we got a new movie coming out. Doing pretty good, getting good reviews, and it has nothing to do with football. So I'm here.
Make for a difficult conversation along the way. Well, let's see what we can make work, where we can find the intersection in the Venn diagram. Legitimately, like I say, I'm not just saying ask behind the glass there. Do I not say what's the funniest movie? I always say of the 21st century. Black Tie?
You have a lot of...
Don't you embarrass me in front of our esteemed guest.
Well, I might have changed it since yesterday.
No, it never changes. It's Talladega Nights. I always say that's the
God
funniest
bless you.
I think
God
really
bless you.
well, and you have obviously some other ones that people hail. Anchorman, obviously, Dynamite stuff. Step Brothers and so on. Those I really do mean it when I say The Trip, which Handsome over here introduced me to.
I love The Trip.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love the Michael Caine off. That would be in the mix for me.
Right.
But outside of that, I think that I would say that those three movies rank as the funniest in this century.
I would go Austin Powers. The very first one, you forget how funny that was. I would drop that in there. I would also do Office Space.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like that might be 97-ish, though.
You're right. You're right. Thank you. I forgot my year.
But
still, though, it's very high in my ranking.
I feel bad correcting you right out of the gate.
I don't know my comedy years.
Let's take a look at The Big Short. Anything you want to say about it? Tell us. I happen to know a little bit about it, but better for you to explain, probably.
Well, it's about 5 or 6 outsiders who saw the entire collapse of the economy coming when no one else did. And they're kind of weirdos, they're kind of oddballs, and they're played by like some of the great actors working right now. So that's kind of the idea.
Well, so we've jumped into it already. Very important stuff here, and of course, the opening of your movie. I say again, it's getting magnificent reviews, better reviews than any movie out in December. I'm not going to mention what those movies are, but this really is a movie. Who is, you say, some big stars? I see that you've got Ryan Gosling and Brad Pitt in this one.
Yes.
Who's more handsome?
Well, it's a tough call. I would put Brad Pitt more towards the kind of Paul Newman, Robert Redford, old school, a little bit weathered, kind of handsome. You could picture him like riding up on a horse across a snowy field. Gosling probably is a little bit more of a fastball. He's more like 98 miles an hour down the straight. Certainly when we were on set, it was funny to watch all the women extras, like their hearts palpitate. They would start to breathe hard. They would point at him.
For Gosling.
For Gosling.
Not
Gosling,
for Pitt any longer. He's moved beyond.
Pitt gets, the women that like Pitt are more older, mature women now. So they're a little cooler and kind of handling things.
I watched Thelma and Louise the other day. It happened to be on TV, and suddenly in there, he's very striking.
Oh, he's pretty,
He was
isn't
in
he?
the fastball
he's
category
handsome.
then. But yeah, you're right. I think he's moved beyond.
He's still got heat. He can still get to like 91. He's still got like some off-speed stuff. So my wife swoons over him. But Gosling is more like the 23-year-old assistant can't talk when he shows up at our offices. So it's two different games.
Either way, you're a lucky devil. You got to have both those handsome devils in your midst. All right, let's take a look at the movie The Big Short. And like you say, this is about characters who did have some foresight about what was coming in the 2008. Unlike Dave Dameshek, who bought a house in June of 2008.
Oh,
and then
no.
and then in July, the economy
Oh,
collapsed.
no.
And so did my well-being. All right, let's take a look at The Big Short here.
You have no idea the kind of crap people are pulling, and everyone's walking around like they're in a damn Enya video.
You hate Wall Street, but maybe it's time to quit.
I love my job.
You hate your job.
I love my job.
Wall Street took a good idea and turned it into an atomic bomb of fraud and stupidity.
Mark Baum, the fiery guy who doesn't trust the system.
I'll tell you how much I'm worth.
You are.
He wants to punish the people doing the wrong thing.
How can you sleep at night knowing that you are ripping off working people?
He's sort of an unlikely hero.
I'm sure the world's banks have more incentives than greed.
Baum doesn't hold his opinion,
You're wrong.
doesn't suffer fools.
The banks got greedy, and I can profit off of their stupidity.
He's speaking the truth.
I'm not giving out any lifeboats.
Mark, if Morgan goes under, we end up with nothing.
I say when we sell.
This isn't about you. This isn't about you.
Hey,
You're up
hey,
beside Mahogany.
hey! I say when we sell.
Boom.
Looks marvelous. I'll say this to you. I got the screener over the weekend, and I wanted to watch it because, do my diligence, as they say. But my DVR didn't work, so I couldn't watch. I mean, my DVD player wasn't working.
I totally understand. It's okay.
I would have watched it, so we could have a really thorough conversation about it.
You watched Clueless instead, didn't you? A rerun of Clueless off TBS.
Yeah. So now we'll just have to skim the surface of the movie and have an artificial kind of conversation about it. What is your favorite movie that you've done? I'm sure this is the question that everybody asks you.
Well, I definitely love this one. I mean, it's very different, but I think the one you can always
You can feel that this one is different than most of.
Totally, yeah. Even though there's funny stuff in it, it's very entertaining. I think I still go back to Step Brothers, though. I think that's the one when it's on at like midnight on FX or some weird channel. I'll actually watch 20 minutes of it and laugh really hard. I think that's the one where Farrell and I just said, "The heck with it. Let's do whatever we want." But I don't know. I love Talladega Nights. I mean, that family prayer scene is one of my favorite scenes we've ever done. And then Anchorman, I love each one. There's no question. But Step Brothers tends to be the one I watch the most.
Talladega Nights, the bar scene is the greatest.
I love
the
it.
Rare
I love it.
Yeah, there's so. I just was watching it the other night, and when Will Ferrell comes home after the hospital, and and it's a whole new family is another.
And they pasted over John C. Reilly's face over the picture. And
Now, I did happen to mention Black Tie is trying to give me words while we're having this conversation. I have in my ear, he's whispering to me, but not for public consumption. But he's saying, hey, there's another movie out this December to help me with the transition into this
nice.
thing.
I appreciate it.
I'm not going to mention what it is. Well, I am going to in just a second. I thought it would be fun to play a little game here. You're a football fan. You're a movie fan. Let's see how big a fan you are on both of these. Handsome, you're welcome to join in on this too. We are going to play a game now. It's called Football Player or Star Wars Character.
Ooh, I love it.
Let's see how we can do here.
I
with this.
love it.
And the first name up here, I'm going to start nice and slow here, I think. Start with an easy one for you. Barkevious Mingo, football player or Star Wars character?
Barkevious Mingo. God, he might have been like a right-hand man in the Cloud City in Empire Strikes Back, but he sounds to me like a linebacker. I'm going to go football.
Very nice. Well done, McKay. You're out of the gate red hot here.
And is he a linebacker? Was I right on that?
He's a pass rushing end.
tweener,
Yeah, I think. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He would have like an orange or brown lightsaber, I think, right?
That's definitely not a DB name. I knew that.
Yeah. Mingo, is on the Cleveland Browns because when you see them come out onto the field, their pants say Browns on the side of them.
Oh, that's
Jersey
so
says
convenient.
Cleveland as
It
well.
does.
Also,
You
yeah.
totally
That's
know
super
who you're
helpful.
seeing.
Yeah.
No joke. What is your football team?
I am the Eagles. I grew up around Philly. It's been a rough year for us, but yeah, I would claim
In
the
all
Eagles.
sports.
In all sports. It is, well, the Sixers don't even register anymore. We don't even pretend we have a basketball team. They basically become a AAA team, and we're waiting for them to come back to the pros. But yeah, the NFL has been tough this year, too. Chip Kelly, I pray there's a master plan. I'm not sure what it is.
We're getting pretty deep
working
into
out. Yeah,
things
we've-
now for the master plan to have not been revealed yet.
I think the master
Year
plan
7,
might be-
it's coming, everybody.
I think it might be get rid of all these players again this year and bring some more in as
Oh,
well.
my God.
Here's
painful.
another pretty easy one for you. Wedge Antilles, football player.
Star Wars.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Luke
If he
Skywalker's
was a
best
football
friend on
player, though-
Tatooine.
Wedge Antilles would be a backup quarterback for the Buccaneers.
See, I like him as a fullback.
I
like
like
him-
the word wedge.
Yeah, I like
Wedge
the idea
buster,
of
yeah.
he's like, he just comes in on short yardage situations.
Next up, Bib Fortuna.
Star Wars.
That's correct.
Yeah.
What is Bib? Bib is, I think Bib's the guy who hangs around with Jabba and has the weird head
the
growth.
curly.
I'm
the
very
curly head.
impressed. That's good.
Yeah.
Bib Fortuna, if he was a football player, he's a kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bib Fortuna from 49. Oh, it's left.
No good, Bib Fortuna. So-so Jamabo.
So Jamabo. Wow. That could be Babylon 5. You could be going to another science fiction show on that. That's got to be NFL.
Well, you know what it is? It's college football. It's a curveball I threw at you there. It's a
okay.
UCLA running back, and it just might be the grandest name in all of pigskin
Can
going.
you say it one more time?
So-so Jamabo. I sing songs about it.
That is good.
You can set it to the tune of Phil Collins' Susudio, and it works beautifully.
Or a Doobie Brothers song, it kind of sounds like. Yeah.
Next up, Say Ye Ajira Tutu.
Say ye a Jaratutu. What do you? I
think I know. I think I know on that.
Sounds Samoan, which makes me think NFL.
You're correct. You have not missed one. Not missed one yet. Crix Medine.
Ooh.
That's just a made-up name. That's not Star Wars.
You're on the right.
Crix Medine. Didn't he shoot Franz Ferdinand to start World War I?
That's it.
That
You
who
got
it
that
is?
right. See?
All right.
Answer
All right.
C. Neither of the above. That is, well, speaking of, you say if the standard is that's a made-up name, a lot of names playing in football these days.
That's true.
Clearly the mom was, you know what? I want this guy to be unlike any other human being who's ever walked the face of the earth. That's why I'm going to
Arcebius.
name him Debrickashaw.
Yep.
Or in this case, well, I don't want to.
All right,
I think
so
I
wait,
just
say the name one more time.
Crix Medine.
That's got to be NFL.
Crix Medine is a white slot receiver who's undersized, 5'8", scrappy player.
Yep.
He'll get you a first down. 3rd and 7, he'll catch it every
Went to Wyoming or maybe
Went to
Montana.
exactly.
100 catches with Brady, goes to another
Yeah.
team, has 11 catches.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the guy, Crix Medine.
I'm just gonna say you're right, even though you're not. I don't know what Crix Medine did. What was he in Star Wars? Here's a made-up name, Charkandrick West. But was it made up by a football player's parent or by George Lucas?
Oh, Charkandrick West, I think I just heard him interviewed on the radio. Is he Chiefs?
Oh, you're correct.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's an interview scene in the new Star Wars movie.
There's a lot of interview scenes in the
Weird.
new Star Wars. It's very
Coming off the
talking head.
field of the battle. So how did that go for you out there? Did you feel good about that?
It by coincidence is also a station on the London Underground on the tube, Charkandrick West. Like, where are you travelling to? I need a ticket to Charkandrick West.
Charkandrick Rangers, who
Exactly.
are a really
Yeah.
good
They're good
premiership
team.
team.
Good
Yeah.
All right, let's move on then. You both did very nicely there. That was good teamwork. And you know what? I feel bad. Black tie behind the glass. Why would you do this game? We're here to talk about The Big Short, and then you want us to talk about another movie out? That's bad manners, Black tie.
Just trying to be pop culture relevant. That's all it is. It's all in the same bag. We're all well, not me. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but everyone is. So.
I'm sorry that we had to go through that.
Yeah.
Let's just
I
pretend
actually
like
very much enjoyed that game
Okay.
and could probably play it for another half an hour. So,
One quick fact though, Shea Juratutu, Nigerian name.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, we had some other ones. Maybe we'll get back to them as we go along here. Now it's time, though, for Who Are You Loving going into Week 16. I don't need to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Huge games coming up here for teams that want to get into the playoffs, and for that matter, the teams that are now trying to figure out who's going to get that number one pick next May in Chicago. These games are meaningful to them as well. Handsome, I start with you. Who are you loving?
Well, Dave, it's not so much that I'm loving this thing, but I'm going to have to learn to love it. Our friends at the Around the NFL podcast, who do great work, they have a segment during the first half of the season called they fork teams. If a team they don't believe is going to make the playoffs, they will stick a fork in them. And at one point, they refused to stick a fork in the Washington Redskins, which now proves to have been a wise move. But I said to Chris Wessling from the podcast that if they weren't willing to fork them, I would. And if the Redskins made the playoffs, I would never use a fork again in my life.
wow.
Which now is proving to be a little difficult. So
You're a man of honor,
I am a man
Handsome.
of honor. You know that. But
There's a sport.
this is what my future is sporks. And I think this weekend the Eagles play the Redskins on Saturday. Tune in, watch it on NFL Network. But if the Redskins win that game, they pretty much have the NFC wrapped up. My future is sporks. So I'm kind of assuming that the Eagles aren't going to beat the Redskins. Sorry. And I feel like I may be using sporks for the rest of my life.
I mean, I don't think you are expressing the proper amount of nervousness. I mean, you should be
I am worried.
paralyzed with fear right now.
But I'm now past the point where I'm paralyzed with fear, and I'm actually having to embrace sporks. So much so that I looked up on Amazon yesterday how much a bumper pack of sporks would cost, and you can get them for like $15. Would probably
That's
be a
not
lifetime
bad.
supply.
Wow.
Metal, though, you're not
No,
gonna
these are
just
like the
have-
plastic seat, but I would like to be like the man with the golden spork.
Yeah.
Maybe get a golden spork engraved and things, and then use that for.
Do you know what the more proper name, the more formal name of a spork is?
I don't. Please tell me.
Runcible spoon.
Very nice. Wow.
I would expect you to know that, Englishman.
I
That's
feel like
much classier.
I've heard that, but I didn't.
Wow.
I feel
Do
like
you
if
have a runcible spoon I could borrow?
Yeah, that
I
would
would
be
have to
weird.
go to
And a
people's houses.
serviette.
Adam McKay, you
Yeah.
can only have one utensil for the rest of your life. Which is it?
I'm going spoon.
I think the spoon is
Yeah,
the right thing.
'cause
I
you
think
can
a
cut.
spork might be.
You can cut with the spoon. I want more of a teaspoon so it's got an edge.
Yep.
And I'm sharpening it too as a weapon. It's going to be a shiv. I'm going to be able to eat with it. Yeah, it's my spoon.
Or your Swiss Army knife that is, or a spoon that is a knife when you need it. Yeah, that's a good idea. I advance this, and for 2016, this is one thing I would like to improve society with. I think that we need to replace, we just have accepted the standard that the plate is the only way to go when you're eating. In almost every case, a bowl would be superior. Not eating a steak, if you have to cut a piece of meat, you want the flat plate. But really, aren't you better served with a bowl in almost every other case?
You could do a shower curtain. Is also a good way to go. Just lay all your food out on the shower curtain.
Like
Wrap it all the
fan
way
in
around me and
yeah.
hold it.
I'm not a healthy eater, so that's
I always think the plate is overrated, but the table is fine. Like, a table is essentially a large plate.
Like my father before me, I notice the older I get, I'm a sloppy eater, and the food is now starting to move up on my face. My father once got food up over his eyebrow. I haven't reached that yet, but I thought, that really, that's going to take me, that once I get in my 50s, I expect to.
By the way, I think Eagles will beat Washington.
Oh!
Thank you.
I'm going to say it because that is a weird
kind of
division.
agree.
Nothing has been consistent. They still have weapons. They have a lot to play for. I'm going Philly.
I hope
Not
you're
because
right.
I'm a homer.
I hope you're
Not
right.
because I'm a homer. I really do think Philly's going to it would be the most inconvenient thing for that division. It would annoy everyone. I think they're going to pull it off.
I kind of agree with that. We're going to get to the picks. Is that one of our games? Yeah,
One of the games.
we'll get to the picks in a second. Quickly, I'll tell you this. Who am I loving? in honor of Adam McKay being here, this is shameless shilling, but to try to make it up for you for the for Black Tie's ill-conceived Star Wars bit in front of you. What do I love? The Big Shorts in the NFL. This is a game of large human beings, but who are the biggest stars right now in the NFL? The short guys. Antonio Brown, 16 catches. He is having a historic year. We talked about that on the earlier show this week. He's dynamite, and he's 5'10". He's the best receiver in football, and it's time to start acknowledging he's a generational talent and is going to go down as one of the 6 or 8 best receivers of the Super Bowl era if he continues to do anything close to what he's done these last 3 years. Russell Wilson, it's very weird that a lot of people have just now decided to announce that they think he's good, as though, did you see him playing in the last couple of Super Bowls? Yeah, he's good already.
It wasn't just along for the ride.
You throw Teddy Bridgewater in there? How tall is Bridgewater? He like 6'1"?
I think,
he's
lately.
about 6'1".
He's not a star yet, but he's had some good games recently.
He has. He looks at what's also striking about him is it's not so much that he's short, it's that he's so young. He looks like a
He looks 12.
preteen.
Yeah, he does look 12.
He always has those
I think he
gloves
is
on.
12, actually. Yeah. He got a waiver.
That's a feel-good story for the NFL. Look, we have a preteen out here doing great things. And also the Honey Badger, Tyraan Mathieu, sad to see him go down because he might have been the Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe he'll still get that, but he's out for the season.
Is he a small guy?
Yeah,
Oh,
tiny
is he
guy.
really? I didn't know that.
I think he's
wow.
5'7". I mean, he's very small.
He's somewhere around there.
5'8".
Really?
5'9",
Wow.
somewhere around that. Not a big guy.
All right. So Black Tie, now what? We're gonna bid Adam McKay farewell.
Adam is over, sadly, and so we still have the games to get to. But great times with Adam. But
All right. Before he goes, then let's just let him do his preview. He made his pick. So Adam McKay, DC, Philly, choose. You formally made your pick.
I'm going to say that's the game where that weird Kelly offense wakes up a little bit. I'm going to say Philly takes it to him a little bit. I'm going to go 32. I'm going to go 32-17. I'm going to say it's a weird blowout. We're all like, what just happened? I'm picking weird blowout.
Let's not get crazy like DC is some world beater. Of course,
team,
that's
And they're probably going to overindulge on Christmas Day. Maybe Kirk Cousins has a couple slices extra of ham or something, and then wakes up feeling a little strange the next day.
The thing that can kill Philly, though, is, as you know, I mean, people always tell tales about how nasty the Philly fans can be, but any fan base. But in December, like you say, year 3 for Chip Kelly, the fact that this is a home game is a virtue so long as they get out of the gate all right in Week 16.
Yep.
If they fall down, double digits, that crowd will turn against them, and it's going to be rough. So, Handsome, your pick?
I'm picking the Redskins. Like I said earlier, I think
Throw the red challenge flag. You got to do it.
I'm going to throw it out there.
Now you're doomed. You're never going to be in a fancy movie after you did that. That was disrespectful.
He's probably right, by the way. But I don't know. That division has been so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, anything. I just know that kind of the tables have turned on me, and the whole sport thing is I'm resigned to it now.
All right, we're going to continue with the picks, but we're going to let you go. Adam McKay, what a pleasure, man. What a great visit from you. We appreciate you taking the time to do it. I know, obviously, you have fancy shows to go on and promote the big picture. The Big Short, I will certainly watch it. I'm going to go to the theater. I have a screener, but I'm not even going to watch it.
Let's go together.
Bless you. Yeah.
You and me go?
You and I.
I like that.
Right.
I like where your head's at on that. Adam McKay, thanks so much, and thanks for all the great pictures over the years.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you
for having me.
Thank you. And I'm going to look ahead, and I guarantee you, I will watch all those movies that we talked about whenever I find them on the cable channel. So you're going to feel many hours still to come in my life. Adam McKay, The Big Short, December 23rd. Go see it, why don't you? Back with the picks in just a second here.
Football baby, the baby who picks football games.
Football baby, ho ho ho, fa la la, ah! Happy holidays! Let's do the Week 16 picks, okay? I'll take that as a yes. Eagles, Broncos. Who will be nice and who will not win? Choose. On the Bengals. AJ McCarron it is. Patriots. This Ryan Fitzpatrick doppelganger. Choose. Oh, baby. Who you taking? Take one. You must take one. You threw the Patriots. Last up, Steelers, Ravens, choose. Sorry, there's no Ravens, but look, we can't have you ruin Christmas. Just take the Steelers. There you go. Yeah, that's your winner. Happy holidays, everybody. Even to you Ravens, huh? Football, baby. There he goes. Adam McKay.
That was
delightful fellow, right?
Yeah, lovely guy.
Yeah, you shouldn't have thrown that flag at him. That dooms your future in show business.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is pseudo show business,
This is as
right?
close as I'm going to get.
Yeah. And by the way, have the Denver Broncos been tweeting nasty things at you, handsome?
They have not, because I didn't tweet nasty things at them.
I didn't tweet anything nasty at them. I encourage you to go on Twitter and look up at Dameshek and then at Denver Broncos. Earlier in the week, they were tweeting about how they think the Pittsburgh Steelers are dirty. So I pointed out some things that maybe they've done that weren't so nice. And then they responded to me saying that I'm not objective or insinuating as much.
Have you ever said you are objective?
No,
I like
I
it when
haven't. I'm not a
when
reporter.
people accuse you not of being objective. It's like, but I always said I'm not.
Kamish Goodell never asked me
Right.
to hey,
Be
don't let
objective.
anybody know who you're rooting for. Hence the fact
Breaking
that there's
news.
a lot of black
Dave
and gold
isn't a
around
football reporter.
here. No, right. I'm an opinionator. Yeah. I keep mine, but you know what? I can distinguish as a grown-up between what I want and what I think. You understand? Do I think the Steelers are going to the playoffs? I don't know. Let's talk about that right now as we continue to dig in to the picks as we begin the Red Challenge Flag Picks. Red Challenge Flag Picks. Hey, I don't think you guys sang Behind the Glass, and I don't appreciate that. And this is
Let's actually.
the
try and do
holidays
this
are a time to
together.
come together. So
Right.
let's try it again. 3, 2, 1, everybody. Red Challenge Flag Picks. Thank you to my DDFP
The
family
choir.
back there.
The DDFP
Happy
choir.
holidays to everybody. They're getting drunk back there. A lot
Right.
of them already are drunk and have
A
been.
lot of them
since-
show up to work drunk, which I think is admirable. Did I say that right?
Yeah, admirable. Well, you're
tried to.
somebody else is drunk too, apparently. Hey, listen, let's press on here with the Red Challenge picks. I go just for good measure. I'm gonna because you were too nice to throw it directly at
I
Adam
decided
McKay.
not to throw it at him.
You thought that would? I don't see. You were a coward. I don't like that. I threw it directly at you. I do think the Eagles are going to win in your Eagles, your 1960
I wish they still wore this color.
Philly Eagles color green. Yeah,
I wish they still wore this.
they got to go back to those
They should
already.
do.
And they would.
And
They
the
definitely.
silver wings on the helmet.
And definitely not the all black uniforms. What was that? Who do you think you are? You're the Eagles. You wear green and silver and white, and that's it.
Like all Eagles. Green and silver and white.
Correct. Thank you. I never liked it when they had the white hats and the green wings, so that looked weird. The Indianapolis Colts, desperate for a win. I mean, it may be done already for them, but
might be.
they could scratch their way into this thing if things break just so. At your Miami Dolphins, I'll start it off here since you took the first one. I'm taking the Miami Dolphins, handsome Hank.
Dave, I wish I could throw this red challenge flag at you, but the truth is that the Dolphins shouldn't win this game because my hope is, at this point, I think they can get maybe the 4th overall draft pick, but they are guaranteed to win this game because that's exactly what they shouldn't do.
What's the one thing the Dolphins need to add?
Well, I can't say the first thing on my head, but a coaching staff,
Player I'm talking about.
I see. I think a defensive back would be a good corner in the draft is what I would like them to do. I think Brent Grimes, who a year ago was a Pro Bowler, has been a long way from his best this season.
Yeah, there's not going to be a quarterback, so even if you're cynical about
I think a quarterback.
He's fine. He's not been great,
fine.
though.
He hasn't been great, but I think a new coaching staff might like the Eagles' offense, the Chip Kelly offense, the Bill Lazor offense has been proven not to work anywhere, and so Ryan Tannehill not working in that offense isn't necessarily to me symptomatic of Ryan Tannehill not being a good enough quarterback.
Interesting, but he has gotten a lot of rope over the course of his career.
Yeah,
I guess he's deserved
next year is and they can't get out of his contract anyway now, but after next year they could do.
Well, maybe they get an up-close look at their next coach in Chuck Pagano. That's one of the rumors out there. I think it's going to be Sean Payton. Next up, Patriots, Jets, handsome. Choose.
The New England Patriots will win this game.
I agree. I am very tempted to take the Jets here. They're going to show up. Absolutely.
They're not as good as the Patriots.
They're not as good. We know that much. But Todd Bowles, gangbusters work. Certainly better than what Rex Ryan has done.
Cowboys by 3 points on Saturday.
That doesn't make it. That kind of stuff. Maybe I'm Coach Tomlin in my head, or watched too much Seattle Seahawks football over the last 4 or 5 years. You don't have to whip everybody. You just have to survive, win the game, and move on. Especially in December.
Nice. They couldn't get in the end zone. You can't.
Dallas has a decent defense.
Against the Patriots, you cannot just kick field goals.
All right, the Patriots will secure the number 1 seed against the Jets. I won't be stunned, though. I'll be interested to see if Chris Ivory can make some hay against that front seven. Good as it is at bringing the heat in passing situations, maybe they can be had on the ground. Next up, suddenly more compelling for bad reasons. You don't like to see the Honey Badger sitting down the rest of the season, but might open the door a little bit to the passing game for the Packers. Packers, Cardinals, Dave choose. Dave chooses the Cardinals. I think Bruce Arians rallies the fellas, at least for 1 week. I am concerned come January, but I think on this day at least, the Cardinals will survive it.
Shek, you make your own rules, man, of your own game.
Yeah.
Why?
Make your pick, and then you move on.
The rules don't apply to Dave.
Go on,
we
Shek.
know that. No, none of the rules apply to Dave.
Do as I.
I'll throw a red challenge flag at him anyway, but just for that. But that's not. I agree with your pick. I agree. I think that the Honey Badger will be a big loss. I think the Cardinals are the best team in the NFL at the moment, and I think that the Packers' offense has not been doing well, and I don't think it will do well enough against that Cardinals defense with or without Tyraan Mathieu.
Cardinals are the best team in the NFL. Wow, that's strong stuff. So you see them in the final.
I look forward. I think the game of the year, if it happens, and I expect it to happen, is going to be that NFC Championship game between the Panthers and the Cardinals. I think that'll be a terrific game, and I think the Cardinals will win it.
Well, I mean, if it's in Carolina, well, we have a few weeks to debate that. But, listen, justice, if the football gods are listening, which I assume they always are to the DDFP, I assume this is appointment listening to the football gods.
I'm sure.
Come on, after Carson Palmer and Bruce Arians has been such a nice story since he got out of Pittsburgh through Indianapolis and now landing in the desert. I say it all the time, and I no knock on the Panthers. I like Cam Newton and a lot of the fellas that we've talked to from that team. But the Cards are such a likable bunch from Arians on down.
If they are listening, can the football gods do this as well for us? Can we not have any more injuries this season?
That's
I hate to get into
I
the
agree.
playoffs and have Landry Jones starting at quarterback for the Steelers, or what? Let's just quit with the injuries.
I am with you 100%.
Thanks, Dave.
But Bengals fans act as though it's my pleasure that Andy Dalton. No, I want the foes at 100%.
In the playoffs, we want the best players to be playing.
Yes. All right. Next up, and lastly, the aforementioned Cincy Bengals at the Denver Broncos. Both fan bases and maybe the teams themselves suddenly don't like Dameshek so much because I'm not rooting for you, but I'm not rooting against you.
Right.
Except in playoff seeding and such. Mm-hmm. Cincinnati Bengals, Denver Broncos, handsome hang.
Dave, I want to say,
big one.
Peyton Manning's a legendary player. I think he should be back under center for the Broncos. I think it's important. When he comes back, they're going to win a lot of games in a row. No, I don't believe that. But I'm not an NFL player, so I wouldn't. I think the Broncos are going to win the game because A.J. McCarron will not be able to deal with the Broncos defense.
Now, Handsome just broke the rules. And as opposed to me, who gets to play by his own rules, you're supposed to just say your
challenge flag at me, though.
You're taking
I took the
Broncos. I can't do it. I'd like to do it, but I'm not going.
See how difficult it actually is when you're holding them, how difficult it is to throw these challenges.
This is a fascinating game,
It is.
and I know we say I don't want any injuries, but it suddenly is compelling because of the two QBs that are going to be in there. These, Osweiler's been there for a few years. This is year 2 for McCarron. We've seen more Osweiler, and by the way, he was very good in the first half against Pittsburgh, and I wouldn't be surprised if you look back at that at the end of the first half, Osweiler takes a shot. Maybe that had something to do with the way he played in the second half in Pittsburgh, or maybe the Steelers. They really did bring the heat in the second half there without having to blitz very often. They did get all around Osweiler, and he didn't deal with that very, very well.
I agree, but forget about Osweiler. The Broncos need their running game to come right. And it did. Remember when in the first game when they played the Patriots and Osweiler was there, their running game was clicking suddenly, way more than it had done in probably until at the end of last season when it started working for the Broncos with Peyton there. But it just nothing's happened with that running game for the last 2-3
Well,
weeks.
to connect the dots to that, what I said 5 minutes ago, maybe the Patriots are susceptible and Chris Ivory and company are going to expose that. And then everything will be up in the air in the AFC. If that happens, if the Jets win that game, everything's up for grabs in the AFC. You don't know who's going to even get into the wild card. You can assume the Chiefs are going to get there. But the Jets might surpass Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh cannot slip up with the Ravens and the Browns. I know everybody in the world thinks, well, those are gimmies. Those are two terrible teams. But those are games that can make the season for these teams. In lost 2015s for the Ravens and Browns, you knock off the division bully in Pittsburgh. Yeah,
that's all they got left.
I know, yeah, and I know people, oh, that doesn't matter. I think it does matter to some people. If things start to break, the Steelers jump on them early, the game will be over. But if they're around at halftime, I'm nervous, if you can't tell. If things do go the way they're supposed to and Pittsburgh wins their last two and the Chiefs win their last two, this game, Cincy and Denver, will decide who the Steelers play in all likelihood. Imagine that. Pittsburgh going back to Cincinnati for round 3 or going to a Mile High to settle that score from last Sunday. Either way, the playoffs are almost here, and I'm getting excited about it. Just don't blow it, Pittsburgh. That's my Christmas wish this year. All right, any Christmas wishes behind the glass, Black Tie, other than that you want me to wrap it up?
He just wants us to wrap it up.
That's all he wants. Is that
that's his Christmas wish? Because you know why? The R&B podcast is coming in here.
Is that what it's about, Black Tie?
And so he needs us to get out of here because he's embarrassed of us in front of his new friends.
Yeah, I know. That is his thing. They're just a job. They're a responsibility I have to do. This is my passion, Mike and Nate. Is that right, Black Tie? Oh, he's on the phone with them. He's literally on the phone with them.
In the middle of producing your podcast. How do you feel, Dave?
What kind of dirty producing is that? That's terrible, Black Tie. For shame. You know what?
Oh, well.
Coal in the stocking. Two shows in a row, in fact. Last time Maurice was in here, he mentioned that Black Tie's getting coal in his stocking. Now Handsome's giving you a piece of coal as well. To everybody else behind the glass, to you, the listener, have a tremendous Christmas with the family or friends. Or maybe they're listening to us. Maybe they're alone, but they weren't alone for the last half hour or 45 minutes.
We feel like we've joined you for Christmas. Thanks for inviting us into your homes.
Yeah, we were in your ear for the last 45 minutes. I hope that was a pleasurable visit from us. And all right, have a good one, Handsome.
Oh, hey, Dave,
you sticking around?
I'm not if the R&B podcast coming in, but I did get you a gift for Christmas.
Oh, all right. Really so we'll be back after Week 16, after Christmas, in front of Week 17 and New Year's, and we'll talk college football, and we'll talk the final week of the NFL. In the meantime, enjoy the time, enjoy the eggnog. I got my sister Debbie's her text message saying she's at the theater watching Star Wars. I'm very sad to not be there with her. It's the first time we haven't seen a Star Wars together, in the theater together.
That's amazing.
And also a little sad, right? I get made fun of that by other people all the time. So anyway, sorry for missing that, but I trust it'll be good. I'm going to go see it at some point soon, and we'll get Black Tie's review on it.
Open it, Dave. Open it.
All right, here we go. Let's see what's in here.
Find out more on the next DDFP.